Hey guys, we're doing something crazy today. Jimmy and I are getting inducted into Eden, which is a really really awesome new experiment in governance. And if you want, I would highly recommend. We've done a couple of roundtables about Eden. I would highly recommend going and checking those out after this. One of the things that happens before you get inducted, into this system. Is you got to read the Eden Peace Treaty. So I was going to read that out loud for everybody while Jimmy and I get our first crack at it. So the Peace Treaty, number one, the size of an independent Eden community shall not exceed 10,000 members. 2, leaders shall be elected by the following process. 1, members are randomly organized into roughly equal-sized groups of 12 or fewer, where total number of groups equals population average group size. Number 2, each group must select a representative from their group with greater than 2/3 approval. Number 3, the process shall then repeat fractally by randomly grouping the representatives approved in the previous round of elections until a single lead representative is chosen. Number 3, elections shall occur at least annually or may be triggered by a petition of 10% of the memberships or according to the bylaws. 4, the community may adopt bylaws which contain all rules, processes, regulations that are binding on anyone who wishes to remain a member. 1, the level of representation that voted in the lead representative shall be known as the board. 2, the active and a proposed set of bylaws are indivisible, single documents, i.e. the former board cannot provide the next board numerous options. 3, bylaws may only be ratified if they were proposed at least 3 months before the last election. 4, the lead representative can act inside the existing bylaws. 5, the board can propose a new set of bylaws. The vote to approve a proposal as well as ratify a proposed set of bylaws shall be approved by 2/3 plus 1 vote, which shall include the lead representative. 5, bylaws may not override, change, eliminate, or extend the peace treaty. 6, members must be invited according to community bylaws and can be removed according to community bylaws. 7, membership is voluntary. Members may leave at any time by giving notice. 8, the peace treaty may be amended by a 2/3 plus 1 vote of all members. Initial bylaws. 1, the initial board shall consist of the people on the Genesis call and shall have the power to propose and ratify bylaws until such time as the first election occurs. 2, Genesis members are to only participate in up to 15 induction meetings until membership reaches 100 members. And that is that. I'll throw the link for this if anybody wants to check that out in the comments here. All right, what's next?
Yeah, thanks for going through that. So that's part of the pre-meeting checklist. I don't know if you guys want to throw that up on the screen so people can just get an idea of like what it looks like. But one of the main things is you have to know and understand that peace treaty because during the induction that we're going to do together, that's a major part of what you're agreeing to is this peace treaty here.
Okay.
Just the peace treaty itself, not so much the bylaws. Bylaws are still in development. There's actually some links on that same page to there's a current proposed modifications to the peace treaty and the bylaws that Dan has put forth, but I don't believe it's been ratified yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's any questions, Jimmy, Corey, by all means.
I think you're muted, Jimmy.
Sorry, I think I'm kind of okay. Like we kind of have a small understanding from the roundtables that we've hosted. So I think most of my questions were answered in those personally.
Agreed.
So true. So true. Hey, all right. So as far as recording this, all we're really going to need is like maybe a 30-second cut. Are you guys able to get that, or should I record my screen?
We can pull recordings. I can just pull the entire recording of this and submit whatever you guys need.
For the recording to be valid, everyone's got to. I don't know if you can do it, but you got to change your name to similar as it's going to appear under profile.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder if I'll have to like get out and then come back in.
No, I think you can just change it, maybe.
Can you?
I think I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Learn something new every day.
I don't think that's a hard rule. That's more of a preference.
Oh, well, that would have been nice to know before I outed myself to the world, John.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
guess
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not the end of the world.
We'll live. You're like a public figure now, James R. Deagle. You're
Right?
just gonna have to get used to being famous.
It's my writer name where I read all my crazy theories. So like there was no connection before. Now people actually know who's doing the quacking.
Also,
Anyway.
also, you don't have to use your legal name. So
Huh, there you go.
most people do, though.
Yeah, I said I was trying to pressure Jimmy into doing that just because I mean, like, we want to be, as I think open in this as we can. But that's me. Other people can disagree, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you made a really good point. I mean, we're going to induct ourselves. We're going to be in part of a governance system. So it's totally, I think, the right move to be transparent and open. If you're going to do something like this in a transparent and open way, it makes sense.
John, can you put your EOS account in the chat, in the private chat?
Sure.
So James, we'll do yours first, and then we'll do yours, Corey. Thank you, sir. All right. So, do you have any questions before we begin the first induction ceremony?
I think we're okay.
All right. It's probably fine if Corey's still on the camera for this one.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries then. All right. So this is where we're going to need the clip here. So I'm just going to start this off. So my name is Joshua Seymour, and we are here today to induct James Deagle into the Eden community. And I'm joined by Mark Shear and John Heater of the Eden community, who wish to express their support for the addition of James Deagle. James Deagle, have you read and understood the Eden Peace Treaty?
Yes, I have.
James Deagle, do you agree to abide by the peace treaty?
Yes, I do.
Mark Shear, do you believe James Deagle understands and will abide by the peace treaty?
Yes, I do.
John Heater, do you believe James Deagle understands and will abide by the peace treaty?
Yes, I do.
I believe James Deagle understands the peace treaty and will abide by it. James Deagle, welcome to Eden.
Thank you.
Woo! And then this is where we need to clip the recording. So then the video here will get uploaded through the member portal into IPFS. And just need to, I'm going to send you the invite right now, and I'm going to put the link in while we're doing the other one.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I think one of the things that we found out was like everything in Eden is open and transparent and recorded, and anyone can go back at any time and watch it, all of the elections, all of the meetings, everything. So I guess that's...
Yeah, whatever. I'm just here for the NFTs.
Right? Me too, but apparently.
Wait, there's something other than NFTs on this? What? Joke. Sorry.
All right, so here's your link, Jimmy. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Thanks. I know it's really hard not to make jokes, isn't it, Corey? It's really hard to be serious in this.
I'm failing at it. Been noticing every time I make a joke, I'm like, oh, well, this could have been solemn, and I just fucked that up. Damn it.
Right.
Not again.
Do you know how hard it is for me to not dress in Martin Matt D's comment about how many cults a person can actually be in?
All of them.
I mean,
All of you.
It's good. I like it.
The question is, like, can you be part of too few cults? And I think the answer to that is a resounding yes.
Right?
All right. I'm just going to get this ready for you, Corey.
Heard.
Okay, so I guess normally we did this a little bit backwards, so we would have done this before, but just to let everyone know what I got.
Do you want to share your screen to show them?
Yeah, I could do that, sure. So let me pull it here. There we go. Right, so you get invited, you set up a profile, you get endorsed. I guess we've kind of flipped that. They were saying before we have 7 days to be able to do this after. You donate 10 EOS, which goes into the community fund, which is part of, the fund that I believe that's part of the fund, but there's also another fund that comes from Dan, but that's part of the fund that goes into, the reward for whoever wins and what they decide to do with it. And then you're in. NFTs are minted and welcome to Eden. And the NFTs that are minted, they're like a profile picture of yourself. That's correct, right?
It's like a membership card with the video of the induction that we upload.
Yeah, I think it's both your profile picture and the video of the induction.
Sweet.
Yeah, so if you want, you can go in to fill in your profile, and they can kind of see what that looks like. It's pretty basic. It's mostly a description. You put a decent photo of yourself in there, and you whatever social links you want to add.
Where's that? I have to sign in, right?
Yeah, you have to sign in. Yep.
Is that with my EOS account?
Yep. With the same one that you gave me.
Just on stake and some EOS.
I'm gonna have to do that too.
I might have some in Vigor that'll just come out. Maybe.
All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, so just basic name, profile image. I'll do that later. Credit for profile image goes to my mom and dad for my beautiful jeans.
Nailed it.
Social handles, personal blog. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to pull these later. It's fair enough. I understand and submit.
And then after you submit your profile, then we all have to basically review it. So we would upload the video from the endorsement ceremony and review your profile, make sure all the links are working, maybe check your description, make sure there's no like misspellings or grammar that would make you look silly, and verify that your photo is like a decent photo of you. And after the three of us do that, and ideally none of us like miss anything, and there have been some mistakes that have happened in the past. Like there's some profiles where somebody's link isn't properly working. For example, on like Telegram, they have like an @ symbol in there, and so then when it creates the link, it's like /@ and then the handle, and the link doesn't actually work. It just redirects to Telegram. So you'd have to like take the @ symbol out for the person's link to work. And the Clarion team that's building the software is working on things to make it near impossible for that kind of stuff to happen. But it's our job to make sure everything is copacetic with your profile. And then after all three of us confirm, we have our own checkboxes. Once we confirm you, that's at that point you would make your donation. And then as soon as you make the donation, the NFTs are minted. And that's the process. The most difficult part is really just recording the video and like coordinating time with everyone to record the video, and then also making sure the profile is right. Like one that I did on Sunday, we had to go back and forth a few times to make sure that everything was working right with the profile.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty it seems way more daunting than it actually is, maybe, or I don't know. Like it's funny because like when you think about like elections and processes and stuff like that, like this seems pretty basic, right? But the verifications that are baked into it seem a lot more legit than maybe what happens in the real world in certain circumstances, right? Like I don't know if anyone ever checks. Like, I mean, can Jesse the Body Ventura run as Jesse the Body Ventura? Or does he have to use his legal name, or is that his legal name? Did he have his name legally changed? I don't know the answers to these questions. But,
well, he's a familiar.
This keeps getting weirder.
Guy.
right.
But for a guy that's just unknown, for example, yesterday that emailed me, hey, I want access to your Google sheet of data, and I want to be able to edit it. Well, I didn't know who he was. I saw his name. I went to the community. I looked, and he was an Eden member. And I went to his statement. I was like, oh, okay. And then I went, and I didn't even go to any of his socials. I already knew I could trust him. And I was like, I did click the Telegram one, DM'd him. I said, are you the Giuseppe that just texted me? Yeah. Okay. Access granted.
That's interesting.
It was it was definitely different. I mean, if it was Jesse Ventura, sure, Jesse, I know you, but if it was Jesse Ventura's administrative assistant or some person out in the middle of Colorado, well, who are you? But I did that. I cut through it just like that. We only have 130 going on 140 members. If it was 5,000 members and I looked that guy up, I don't know. I think I probably would have been okay with it too. Sure, take it. Because it's all kind of bound by what we're doing right now in terms of identity.
Well, and I kind of like the idea that like somebody's Telegram handle will be in it, and you can actually put a face to their name, and you can see them, and then that could potentially prevent scammers in Telegram channels, which are rife, right? So there's a lot of use cases to this that could potentially be kind of a third-party protection in a way for even just your general crypto business, right? I know it's not intended that way, but so. All right, do you want to take it away, Josh? You look like you're ready.
Yeah. So Corey, I sent you the link for your thing, and we can do the little clip for the induction right now if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, hang on. All right, I'm recording too.
Your last name is it pronounced Cottrell or Cottrell?
Cottrell.
Cottrell. Okay. All right, here we go. My name is Joshua Seymour, and we are here today to induct Corey Cottrell into the Eden community. I'm joined by Mark Shear and John Heater of the Eden community who wish to express their support for the addition of Corey Cottrell. Corey Cottrell, have you read and understood the Eden Peace Treaty?
Yes, sir.
Corey Cottrell, do you agree to abide by the Peace Treaty?
Yes.
Mark Shear, do you believe Corey understands and will abide by the Peace Treaty?
Yes, I do.
John Heater, do you believe Corey understands and will abide by the Peace Treaty?
Yes, I do.
I believe Corey understands the Peace Treaty and will abide by it. Corey, welcome to Eden.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, welcome. So we'll have to clip it there.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to do any of the one of your profiles live, just to kind of show people the next step.
We can. I'm working on it right now.
It's up to you.
Sure. So I put in my name, put in my profile picture. I don't actually remember who took this picture. I'll make something interesting for the biography. EOS community. So do I have to make this right now? I don't think I'm in the eoscommunity.org right now.
Yeah, before we go on, we'll have to build all that.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to include the @ symbol if I'm not mistaken.
That probably makes sense.
Yeah, actually, yeah, don't include the @ symbol because it'll break the links if
Okay.
you do.
I will not. All right. So yeah, I gotta finish up some of that stuff. Can I, if I submit it, can I edit it later on, or should I just leave it there until I finish it?
You can edit it later.
Yeah, if you make any changes and we have already endorsed you, we'd have to just re-endorse you.
Yeah, let's see that. Hanger outer with Jimmy D on the uplifters.
Right.
So
And
that
I
should have
mean,
done.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Yeah, I'll fix some stuff up with this.
We don't want to blow our cover because like our whole platform is like support good projects and world domination.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We've got that one thing, and also world domination as our platform,
Right.
which should be. I mean, it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Right. So that's cool. Like you guys, I guess you guys have all been in this for quite some time. You were all in the first round. I know John and Mark were. Josh, you were as well. You took part the first election, the first trial election, I guess.
I was in the first trial election, and that's how I ended up getting invited to join. I think I was maybe like the 46th member or something. And it was simply just from participating in the election that probably I got invited so quickly. I want to show you guys what happens real quick. I'm going to share. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can put it up. Yeah, so I was going to ask. The next thing is on the July 17th, right? So we'll all be. I think you're going slower than me, so I'll let you finish. Sorry, go ahead.
So probably have to make this a little bit bigger. So since Corey went to the next step on my side, because this is, one of the things of being a member of Eden is once you're a member, you're then able to invite other people. So this is, as someone who's inviting the two of you today, this is what I'm seeing. Like Corey's name changed from his username to his actual name once he put it in the profile. And then now it says complete ceremony, whereas the other one's still waiting. So when I click on complete ceremony on my side, this is where I would upload the video, and then I would also verify the profile information. And then once I upload the video, some things change. Some stuff opens up for the other guys, and we don't have the video to upload right now, unfortunately, like in this moment, real time. But basically, the three of us have to confirm, and that's built into the process. And then once it's all confirmed, then in this case, Corey could go on and make his donation. But if we don't confirm, Corey could go back and like edit things. We could talk to him about editing different things. I don't know. You might have to put a picture that's a little more closer up on your face. What do you guys think?
I can. I just threw that up because it's the first one I found.
Yeah, it's a cool photo. I like the hat.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll find something better.
Yeah, so that's just like a little taste of what it is on the other side when you're someone that's inviting, and that's one of the main things you can do as a member is invite good people into the community, and there is a maximum for this community of 10,000 people. So it's probably going to fill up quite fast, I would say, and hopefully there's a lot of quality over the quantity.
Right. So here's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then I guess once these profiles are finished and they're submitted, then we'll be eligible for the right, Morton. I mean, right. No turning back. I'm totally screwed. We're gonna have to rename the show Corey Cottrell and James Deagle. That's not gonna work. It's just a mess. Like we built the brand. Anyway,
We've ruined everything.
right. But I mean, we've done it for the greater good, so it's okay.
There you go. There you go.
Right. So July 17th, I believe, is the second trial election. I think that's what we call it. And that will be where we're randomized and put into groups. And we have 1 hour essentially to plead our case. Should we have a case that we want to move on to the next round? Is that correct?
Yeah. So in the trial election, you don't actually have to be a member for this one, but this might be one of the final elections. The next one will probably use the software that's being built for elections. And in order for that to work, everyone's got to be a member, to be able to use the software, that election will most likely take place in August. So for this election, anyone can join. You just have to register. I don't know if we can put out a link for that. It's just like a simple Google form to register ahead of time. And I believe for this election, you do have to have an EOS account and you have to put some skin in the game for the election. I don't recall what it is. Do you guys remember?
I think it was 10 EOS. It said there.
I was thinking 1 EOS, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's closer to 1 or 2.
It was no. It was. There's no longer any fee to participate.
Oh, it's gone now.
In the trial election. Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, so it's the 10 EOS is for the induction. It's not for the.
Yeah, 10 EOS is just to join Eden as a member.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that.
Yeah, and the funds in Eden, as far as I know, aren't being used for the trial elections. I think Dan's putting up most of the money, the EOS for that, and so this is a bigger prize if you were to win the election, which is a political playoff process. You would get access to 2,500 EOS this time, which isn't a significant amount, and it kind of changes the game of the election because similar to the last election, I think 1,000 was what was available at the end there. And so what can you really do with 1,000 EOS? Because if you come in there like trying to do some project that's going to take like 1 million EOS and you only have 2,500 to work with, like there's a big mismatch there. So it changes the strategy of the game. Whereas a lot of the official elections will probably have access, that whoever is winning and a part of that board will have access to a lot of funds, which is the whole purpose of what we're doing here.
I mean, to be fair, it seems like 1,000 EOS has been put to use pretty well by Chris Barnes, helping John do all this stuff with the cool things that are happening behind the EOS Power Up. If you haven't been paying attention, it's really good. Now it's on Telegram. You can do it through there. You don't necessarily have to use the website. So, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, I guess the goal in the long term is to have bigger funding for bigger community or project events. But yeah, I mean, somebody asked in the question, I think maybe you answered this already. How many members are there in Eden already? I guess there's probably because I'm actually not sure. Sorry?
It's 130 and there's about 10 that are in the process. So about 140 very soon.
So what I wanted to ask is, what's the difference between the trial membership and the actual, Eden membership? Are we by default, if we want to be, in that beyond the trial elections, do we have to go through this process again? I guess.
No. This is the trial run is for anyone. You don't have to go through this membership process. Like anyone can just drop in. You can be anonymous. It doesn't matter. Well, actually, you do have to be on camera.
Okay, so this process is actually for the Eden that has 130 members. There's no distinction between the trial run and this. There's actually it's not necessary to be in the trial election to do what we did, but we did it anyway. That's basically what you're saying.
Right, but for the elections that will probably start in like August, you would have to be a member to participate in those.
Right. So I'm glad we did it now because those are the ones with the big money, right?
Yeah, and if you want, you also would have time to invite people, before one of those next elections takes place.
Right.
It has been said that once we get to 1,000 members, I don't know if the sentiment has changed, but that would trigger the first official election. And that could happen as soon as maybe by the end of Q3 if things just kind of start to explode exponentially, because the more members that join, the more possibilities there are for invitations, witnesses, and all of that stuff. We're seeing some steady growth right now. I think May 14th, the first 21 members were inducted, and then by June 25th, we had 100 members. And it's July 6th, and so by the end of today or tomorrow, it's going to be another 40 members have already been added, and that's just like 11 days or something. So that it's probably going to start to moon on the chart here in Q3.
Yeah, and so I actually wasn't going to join. I'll be 100% honest. I had a bunch of different people come to me and say, "Hey, do you want to join? Hey, do you want to join? Hey, do you want to join?" And my response was always, "I don't really have time, and I don't want to come in this and like end up getting pushed through to the next round and like have to come up with this plan and
then have to rule the world. Damn it, not again!"
Right.
Yeah, stop.
And it was actually John. So I want to throw this out there because it was actually John who finally sent me a message and he said, "Jimmy, you just need to join because it's really important." And you don't really have to do anything you don't want to do after you're a member. Once you're a member, then you have the ability to like kind of go through those elections and plead your case and say what you want to do with those funds. But at the same time, if you just want to sit in on the process and see what it's like and listen to the other people in your group, which would be 3 other people, and support them or support other people in Eden. So it was actually John who convinced me to do that. So for any people out there that might be watching and listening, and you are fans of EOS, and you're just like, "Oh, I might not have time to do this," or "I'm not really sure what it's like." I mean, you've seen the process. The links are above for what you have to read and agree to. And I'll say the same thing to all of you as what John said to me. It is important to have this governance model and this funding model and the ability for people to interact with the EOS blockchain. So, don't be like Jimmy D, be like James R. Deagle and join Eden on EOS.
I think the most important point to get across to people is that Eden gives individuals a voice in a way that we haven't really seen in blockchain, because blockchain is always kind of very pseudonymous and it's hard to tell how many people are really there. There's all these accounts, you don't know who's behind them. So Eden, it's all about bringing the real people behind the scenes like forward and giving those people a voice. And so that's the most important aspect. And even if you don't know how you want to spend the funds, that is totally okay. This is like normal, right? So you shouldn't use that as a reason to not join. Primarily, all you need to do is drop in on the election when the official election happens, and just you could do the whole election and just say one word, like who you're going to vote for, right? You could just sit back and listen in your room, and who you vote for in that room is going to have ripple effects throughout the entire process, right? So you don't even have to go into the meeting with any prior knowledge about what you want to vote for, because the people that want you to vote for them are going to give you their pitch right there. So
yeah, and you don't have to be a candidate that wants to move on to the next round. As far as elections go, you would state that you want to be a candidate or not, like in that first round, and then if you don't, then it's kind of like, well, who's going to move on? And you might show up not intending to be a candidate, but you're like, okay, I think I'll just go ahead and persuade these guys to move me on to round 2, and I'll have a vote, at the next layer, still with no intention to actually be the winner, but to just be able to help curate, like a human oracle network or a human algorithm. That's a lot of what's really happening here. It's really humanizing blockchain activity, I would say. When Eden on Upliftium.
I've been pondering that, and I'm really not sure what that means, to be honest.
Well, I think we can start brainstorming some different ways to any way that the Uplift can meaningfully collaborate with Eden. I mean, we've got a couple ideas on this. This is what Jimmy and I have been talking about as our opening salvo and our rule the world gambit. But I mean, really, jokes aside, for a very small amount of time, we've been talking about how to fund, create, and use as a test case the Eden system for running referendums and elections in the uplift. Right, the ultimate goal is to have each one of the worlds be their own DAO anyway, and as a functional way to create consensus even in our environment, we think would be an amazing test case to then start outsourcing this to any other group that wants to onboard it. And then any other ways that we can use the uplift to enhance or be leveraged to move this forward. Like, this is some real save the world shit when it comes to this experiment in democracy. And I know I could kind of speak for Jimmy and myself. Like, we actually believe in this. Like, this is something that has really, really powerful potential and ramifications. So
yeah, we've been pondering like ideas of governance for a long time on this show. What seems like a long time anyway, and beyond that, and like Corey said, the idea to be able to figure out like a plug and play that could, like, I think, be put into any structure in the real world, in the crypto world, anything that involves people, essentially, and trying to come to consensus on a path forward, or whether it's a business, whether it's an industry, whether it's a community. I think that's maybe where Eden has its power. So as Corey said, maybe a really good test case is to figure out how to do it in one of these massive servers that we run. And if we can figure that out and have something built that you
get like an open sourced, like, just straight up clean version of it that non-crypto people could use easily, I think would be really, really interesting. Like, you can end up seeing municipalities start to hold referendums that way, right? Like, there's if we make the technology really, really, really accessible, other people will start experimenting with it, and then it can scale.
Or I mean, even DAX, because even DAX could potentially utilize it, because there's a lot of DAX out there that have problems with the decision making process. That's like on a human thing, and it could definitely be. I'm not saying that DAX are bad. I'm just saying it could definitely be more streamlined, right? Like, it could definitely be like more hierarchical in terms of the way that it's done, rather than just saying like, okay, this guy's a superstar in this guy's a superstar in this guy's a superstar in this. We all just let them do what they do, and then we vote for the people that we want to vote for. I think there's probably a better way, a better hierarchical process. So,
yeah, and
again,
DAOs and DAX usually do the token weighted voting process, which has its flaws sometimes, and so this approach to a DAO or a DAC is like a fractal governance political playoff type of process to reach consensus. And it'll be interesting because Wyoming, in the U.S., Wyoming just their legislation just got enacted to officially create like a hybrid of an LLC, a DAO, and like they spearheaded the LLC thing back in the day, and as of July 1st. And the first DAO was just approved, and it actually runs on, I think it runs on EOSIO. There's articles that are saying that it runs on EOS, which would imply it's like the EOS mainnet, but I don't think that's the case. People are speculating, and I'm wondering. So they're probably not using the Eden OS software, and I'm wondering if the Eden OS software would conflict with that legislation, or if it would be in alignment with it. I don't know if it's specific for token weighted voting, but if there's not a conflict, we might see the Eden OS software, which is open source, as more features are completed, we might see it being adopted by companies that are setting up in Wyoming for that purpose, to run, to be able to operate their DAO. There was a question: is Eden OS bound to EOS? I read that EOS is just a proving ground, and so Eden OS is not bound to EOS or EOSIO, as far as I know. It could. Is it? Maybe you guys could correct me, but I think it would be blockchain agnostic if you were just to grab the open source code and you could hook it up with any blockchain that you want.
Yeah, right now, the in this kind of bootload process, Eden on EOS will use EOS as their currency, but Eden is designed and being designed to layer on top of any organization that wants to use any economy it wants.
So like Ethereum people using things on Ethereum theoretically could use Eden OS. Ethereum itself could use it, to govern its own DAO.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, I think you could probably use it with a stable coin if you could figure out a way to patch that into the regular economy. Not necessarily that that's what we want to do, right? But it seems to me like that. It seems to me like it's more governmental. Sorry, it's more. This is a bad term, but it seems like to me it's more governmentally focused as opposed to financially focused. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's whatever currency your community or DAC or DAO wants to adopt. So that's a good point.
Governance focus, not governmentally. Sorry, two very different
And
things.
how that crystallizes into, say, the culture of Eden on EOS, as Eden on EOS uses EOS for their currency, we don't know yet. We don't see it, but that'll start to harden up, and then we'll say, okay, well, that's interesting. I can see how we're routing everything through EOS or whatever, and then the first instance of it laying on top of another community that wants to use a different coin for use as a currency, then we would see the first instance of it functioning outside of an EOS economy. So right now it's just up to us to try to get it stood up on an EOS economy. So all these things are in the building. That's why we don't see them.
Right.
Hey guys, I gotta hop into my next meeting.
Yeah, we
too.
do as well. So
All right.
Definitely got my brain parts going.
thank you for inducting us, and we'll see you at some point very soon.
Right?
Hey, really nice to be a part of it. Congratulations, you two.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Mark.
gentlemen.
Thanks, Joshua. Thank you, John.
Yeah, congrats. I hope to see some more Eden live invites from you guys.
Let's make it happen.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Chop it.
All right.
All right. Bye, Mark. Thank you.
Bye.